3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live from Las Vegas, Nevada. It's that groovy little podcast that gives you a first-person look into what it's like to call Sin City your home. It's the Living in Las Vegas podcast.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Incoming. Sorry about that. Welcome, everybody, to the Living in Las Vegas podcast here on the Vegas Video Network. Oh, they're clapping louder than usual because I've got this guy here, Tony Cordasco. We're going to get to him in a second, but before we do that, congratulations, because you're listening to or watching the longest-running podcast about Vegas that actually comes from Las Vegas, which means that whether you're a local or a tourist, we want you to think of this show as your own secret handshake to all things cool and groovy. Now, our free show is on the first and third Tuesday of every month. At what time? Well, it's 7 o'clock Pacific time, p.m. at Vegas. No, it's always on time. Except for today. VegasVideoNetwork.com/live. Again, VegasVideoNetwork.com/live. Come on over. Christina Aguilera will tell you. Come on over, baby. Get yourself in the live chat. You're going to meet some really nice people who are friendly, people who love you. Well, there's a bunch of people right there. There's Sam and Joss and Pops and some anonymous person and guys, and we got all kinds of groovy people hanging out there. And here's why, because we've made this amazing community. I've got people showing up an hour before the show just to catch up with each other. Why? Because they love each other. It's a very kumbaya thing. Plus, they get to watch us prepare for the show, a little bit of pre-show stuff. And then after the show is done, about 8 o'clock or so, then we go into VVN 2.0, Vegas Video Network After Dark. That's when we talk about things that we wanted to share with the live chat, but we simply didn't want to have on the record. Again, VegasVideoNetwork.com/live. Hey, I'm your host, Scott Whitney. Konnichiwa, buenas noches. How you doing, hot stuff? I'm the founder of the Vegas Video Network, so on behalf of all of our shows, thanks for playing along. And on behalf of this groovy little podcast, thanks for hanging out as well. We've also got somebody new in the live chat, Sarge 14801. Welcome aboard, sir. He found us on the YouTube many years ago, according to Sarge. He is a retired police person, and he's from the great state of California. Great state. All right. I like California. I used to live there, and I don't anymore. But welcome, Sarge. Let's begin the party. You know, when I moved to Las Vegas in 2005, by the way, pipe down, Tony. When I moved to Vegas in 2005, sports was not a motivator for me. As a matter of fact, I didn't know there was any sports teams here at all in any way, shape, or form until I discovered the 51s, which is the AAA team at the time for the Dodgers, and thought that was one of the greatest discoveries I'd ever found. We went many times. We loved it. And what I mean by we is I loved it. Melissa's not a big baseball fan, but we loved going there. And this last Sunday, I was watching the Vegas Golden Knights at a sports bar, and they had a bunch of other stuff there, uniforms and signs and stuff from a bunch of other teams. And I realized, I think Vegas is a sports city. And I didn't really think that in the beginning, but we've got a lot of stuff. So who do I have here? Well, this young man right here is Tony Cordasco. Now, what does Tony do? Well, he's a radio broadcaster at CBS Sports Radio 1140. He writes for Vegas Magazine. He's the announcer for UNLV's live stream. He co-hosts Lake Las Vegas Live here on the Vegas Video Network, and he's getting ready to relaunch the Dasco Effect here on the Vegas Video Network as well. Tony, welcome aboard.
Get the applause. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, man.
It's great to be here in front of a live studio audience.
So, isn't it kind of nice, right? It's different than having Easter bunnies and people running around you like we did this weekend, right?
That's it. And 1 and 2 year olds.
Right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to work our way up from high school to the pros.
Okay.
What I'm going to ask you to talk about is what the team is, where you find them, where they play at, for example, what's good about them. Mm-hmm. And then if you were in charge of that team, what would you do to change it? Okay?
Okay.
So let's start in the high school. And I'm only starting in high school because we have arguably one of the best football teams in all of the country. Isn't that right?
We sure do. Bishop Gorman High School. Bishop Gorman won the national championship in high school football in 2014, 2015, and 2016.
Boom.
And again, look at all those state championships right there. You can see that on the screen. But 17, they're just dominant. And why are they dominant?
Yeah.
Because
Why are they dominant?
they recruit. I mean, they recruit, and a lot of people, are upset that they do recruit. And I mean, when Snoop Dogg's kid, just winds up here,
Right.
Muhammad Ali's grandson,
Oh, is that right?
shows up.
I knew about Snoop
just
Dogg's
a lot of, a lot of athletes and celebrities and artists and what have you. Their kids go to school here. Why?
Yeah.
Because they're getting the visibility on TV.
Huge.
They're getting the national exposure. They're getting to play against high caliber teams. I mean, they don't play your typical high school. The schedule is just unbelievable.
It's weird, right? Because when I was in high school, I didn't play football. I was too pretty for that. Drummer. Who'd have thought? But we played teams that were basically within, 50 miles of us.
Just a bus.
Yeah,
bus
bus
trip.
right away.
That was it.
That's
It's
right.
a bus trip.
Even that. But these guys are traveling. They're like travelers.
Right.
They travel out of state.
They've played in Hawaii.
Yeah.
They've played on the East Coast. They play everywhere.
So I don't understand. So are they in a division? How does this work?
So they do play in the high school division.
Well, they play.
And a lot of people are, a lot of the, what happens here is you have a lot of people that are salty, right? Because, for real, because they don't want their kids to go up against this program that's on a different level. And then every year they're like, they should just be like a traveling team and not participate for the state championship.
Right.
And then they just knock the snot out of everyone pretty much. And they play the team from up north every year, and they're very dominant. And the North and the South, so the winning team from Reno, the championship team from Reno, plays the Southern Championship from here in Las Vegas, Henderson, and thereabouts. And then every year, though, you see just Gorman, they try to run up the score,
Right.
just to prove their dominance, in that
Right,
game.
right.
And they'll score 60 and 70,
Wow.
and I think in one experience, 80 points.
Wow. So in the live chat, Jaws wants to know, how do they determine a national high school team? How does that work?
A national high school team or
Yeah.
a champion?
Well, both. I mean, how
Yeah.
do they determine who they play against in this traveling around thing, like the
Yeah.
Hawaii gig?
Yeah,
And
so-
then how do they just say, okay, we're going to make a national team?
Oh, that's a great question. So first and foremost, they have an athletic director. They have a budget. They have, so a lot of the kids that go to that school, their parents are boosters. And now, because it's it's the oldest Catholic school here, in Southern Nevada. And they used to be cross town on Maryland Parkway.
Okay.
And then they outgrew that campus. And then they built on the west side of town.
Where are they now?
A Gargantuan. It's just right down off of the 215 south. You get off at like Flamingo and you go south.
Over there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you just keep going further south, over there. But yeah, no, they have an athletic director. They work out their scheduling. They try to play home and homes if they can. They talk to ESPN about
all the time.
a TV schedule
All the time.
And so they play a national
This is so weird to
televised
me
schedule
that
because
a high school team is playing on ESPN2 or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's either I've seen them on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU. I've seen them on all three of the networks, and some of their biggest games are on ESPN on like a Friday night.
It's crazy.
On a Friday night during football
Wow.
season, and the massive exposure, and that's why a lot of the players get recruited to a higher level.
Yeah.
They'll get to play in Division I, and a lot of their athletes, student athletes, get scholarship rides to big schools.
There is a show on, I think it's Netflix or might be Amazon, called QB1. Have you seen that show?
I haven't seen it, but I know what it's about, and I know it centers around Tate Martell, the quarterback who went to Ohio State.
Yeah.
And, out of Bishop Gorman High School.
Yeah.
He kind of got buried. He got some snaps when the games were out of control, out of reach. And now he transferred to the University of Miami.
Right.
In a crazy situation there. So he should be the number one quarterback. They have like 3 quarterbacks they'll have in camp. But he wasn't, if you played, they have different rules for different players, right?
Okay.
He has all this national exposure. Ohio State did some shady things
What do you mean by that?
maybe he might have blown the whistle, a.k.a. like maybe, paying their players or who
Really?
knows, something unethical or whatever. The NCAA got him through. They gave him a waiver to be eligible immediately, and this doesn't happen.
No.
This does not happen. When you're playing collegiately, and a lot of players, like say UNLV, there's players that are there that have put in for a waiver of some sort. They might have had, a medical redshirt injury, something where they, and now they want an extra year, and they've applied to the NC2A, and it might come down to the week before the season starts. But Tate Martell, they made that decision as soon as, just literally as quick as he transferred schools, because maybe they got some info out of him,
Really?
or maybe. I don't know, but it's like a hot potato there, with him.
So do you think someone like that was talented before he got to Bishop Gorman, or did Bishop Gorman make him more talented?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously talented, but again, with more repetitions and then playing that schedule the way you play, and a lot of those kids are playing D1 football.
Yeah.
And so now you have, all this experience against experienced players, guys that are going to be playing in Division I.
Right.
And it does. Your talent level just
And the
continues
coach,
to grow.
His coach is now the coach of UNLV, isn't that right?
Yeah, so Tony Sanchez,
Right.
was the head coach there at Bishop Gorman. Now he's at UNLV.
Right.
Hard to believe he's starting his 5th year at UNLV.
At UNLV?
Yeah.
Wow.
So this will be his 5th
Crazy.
year.
So if you were in charge of Bishop Gorman, what, if anything, would you change?
What's there to change? I mean, they have a beautiful facility.
Yeah.
The Fertitta family, who owns Station Casinos, built them an amazing stadium. All of their other athletic programs grow, as a result of having a dominant high school football team. So their basketball team now has won 3 consecutive 4A championships,
Good.
state titles.
So is their basketball team, I've never heard anything about them.
Yeah, they're good.
But is that team at the same level as their football team? In other words,
They play a
Football to
national
football?
schedule. They
Yeah.
do, and they've been ranked in the top 25, in high school basketball.
Right.
And they're very competitive. And again, when they come back down to a level where they're playing just the local high schools, and the talent here in Las Vegas, basketball, football has grown.
Yeah.
It's really developed. It's gotten to a level to where there's a new UNLV head basketball coach,
Yeah.
TJ Otzelberger, and he understands how important the local athlete is, and he's going to go after a lot of these kids to try to keep them at home because they all go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of superstars that come out of Las Vegas now. It is a hotbed for recruiting.
It's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of coaches, all the major colleges come here. And, you have Bishop Gorman, right? And you also have Findlay Prep School. So
Right.
Findlay Prep is on the east side.
Yeah.
And so out in Henderson. And Findlay Prep is a school.
Are they also a football?
No, they just have basketball.
Okay.
They're basketball-centric. But P.J. Washington, who played for the last couple of seasons at Kentucky, he just declared that he's going to go pro now. And, they have a long line of players. Bol, Manute Bol's son,
he's
played
there.
at the University of
Oh, wow,
Oregon.
kidding.
And he came from Findlay Prep.
Oh, no kidding.
Tristan Thompson, who's in the NBA with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Wow.
Their list goes on and on. I mean, that's a basketball-rich school that is, for most of this season, they were one or two in the country.
Really?
But they don't play a lot. They only play Bishop Gorman, I think, out of here. And they just travel around.
Yeah. It's so interesting that they do that. Okay, real quick, can anybody go to these football games? Is it?
Yeah, it's open to the public. You
Okay.
can pay, but they're sold out, a lot of them.
Are they really?
They are,
No
and there's long lines there. It's still affordable. I think it was a $10 or $15 ticket,
Yeah.
but it's a
Okay.
lot of fun.
That's
Great
cool.
atmosphere.
And do you go to all their games, basically?
No, I don't go to all their games. I'll go to a game periodically if I want to see, a big team with I remember so Josh Rosen was quarterback and get Mater Dei, and I wanted to see him while he was in high school.
Mater Dei in California?
Yeah.
We played against those guys.
Yeah.
Actually, our band competed against those guys. They were a scary band, too.
Well, they're a scary football program because they were one of the top teams. I wanted to see this quarterback who now plays for the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, yeah.
So
Cool.
you see them before they're big time. So it's
Nice.
it's good though, and you see kids that are going to definitely be playing on the next level.
That's awesome. Okay, so we did high school. Let's talk a little bit about college. My understanding is there's basically one major play here in college, UNLV basketball.
Well, UNLV basketball, but now so yes, UNLV basketball is the foundation, and there we see it. TJ Otzelberger is the new head coach. He comes via South Dakota State. He was an assistant coach at Iowa State.
Okay.
And if UNLV is to lose him, I'm told by a reporter from there in Ames that would be the school that they would lose him to.
Yeah.
That's like his dream job, to go back to Ames and become the head coach at Iowa State. But yeah, basketball.
That'd be some shady
basketball's
shit, by the way.
number one. Yeah, basketball.
What happened with the guy, the football coach for Miami? He took a job for about an hour and then he left and went to Miami.
Oh, well, we had a coach here.
Is that right? But
yes.
Have you heard this? The coach for the U.
Yeah.
He's from Miami. Actually, his dad used to be the mayor. He took a job somewhere else.
And then he came back.
Within a week, he went to.
It was really
bad.
quick too. Yeah, that's exactly what happened there, and that happened here with Chris Beard, who was here. I did like the last interview with his coach, Chris Beard, and I was doing the football spring game. Chris Beard shows up, and I interview him. Congratulations on the new job. Can you guys beat Duke this season? Yeah, that's really funny, guy. Pal, okay, yeah. Next thing you know, he's gone. He's on the next plane out of town. Like, literally, he was in Las Vegas for 10 days.
Tony, you should stop talking to these people.
The kiss of death.
So tell me about UNLV
So it's UNLV basketball, but UNLV football.
This used to be the shit.
Yeah, it used to be the SHIT.
You can cuss.
I'm trying, man.
Attaboy,
I'm trying.
don't
I'm
do
so
it.
used to
Don't
not
do it.
doing it on the air.
Don't do it.
But
it's not worth it.
I'll never go back.
I
I'll
cry
never go
myself
back.
to sleep every night because I say shit.
That's all I need. That's all
killing
I
me.
need is one play-by-play call with an S-bomb. in there.
Holy shit! Nice.
Holy
move.
F-bomb. So UNLV basketball has been the foundation. It's been the money sport for UNLV. However, over the past few years, after Chris Beard bolted, Marvin Menzies was the head coach. He was here for 3 years, and they fired him. Why did they fire him? Because an arena that holds 18,000 that was packed here during the 1990s, the championship run, is now running at about, I'd say, 6,000 to 7,000 fans per game.
A third.
Yeah, so about a third.
Rough.
Yeah, that's bad.
rough.
That's bad. And this is a business, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a business.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have to pay your bills, and you have to
Right.
budget your balance your budget and
Yeah, yeah.
everything else in between. So there's a guy that they got rid of because they need to turn up the volume now. With hoops.
And they're playing the name of that.
It's the Thomas and Mack
There
Center.
it is.
Yeah.
UNLV right off of Paradise.
Yeah,
right?
Paradise-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there off of Paradise. It is.
So what changed? Because they used to be the Tartanian, whatever that guy's name with the
Jerry Tarkanian. You screwed me up too.
The Tal Muncher.
Right.
And
Tark was he was the best
Did you ever talk to him?
all the time.
Really?
So yeah, so back in the day, that's where. So I went to UNLV, started in
that's right.
'79. I just graduated. No, just kidding.
Attaboy.
I went there undergrad '79. I started to call games.
You
college
graduated in
radio.
'79, or you started?
I
in 79?
started there
Okay.
in '79. I
Okay.
transferred from a school in New Jersey, and so Coach Tarkanian was someone that I thought was an incredible coach.
Right.
And I really liked what he did, and I watched him on TV. We only got him, say, in '77 when we were a Final Four team here. I got a chance to watch him back in New Jersey a few times. I saw some other games on TV, and I was like, I really like this style of play. As a kid, I was just like, my eyes were wide open. I couldn't play. I wasn't an athlete, but I knew I wanted to get into play-by-play. And I said, I want to be able to call those games. Is that crazy?
No, it's cool.
Yeah, and
That's the way that should happen.
Yeah.
You just decide I'm going to do that.
And so I've been blessed where I've been able to call basketball, been able to call football.
Awesome.
I was here during the national championship run, and in fact, I was able to. So every game I did, I had a couple of other co-hosts, but I was the anchor host of like a Rebel Talk show in the heyday before the game.
Yeah.
I did pregame show, halftime, postgame on radio. Sitting next to Chick Hearn.
Wow. Holy shit.
Sitting next to
You work with Chick Hearn.
Sitting next to Ross Porter.
Come on.
They threw me on the
Chick
air.
Hearn.
Yeah.
Come on.
Unbelievable.
That guy is like
I
the
just got
Vin
chills.
Scully of basketball.
I just got chills, and
Yeah, yeah.
I learned so much from watching those guys
Come on.
work.
That's fantastic.
I mean, those are two of
That's
the biggest voices, I think, in Southern
basketball.
California Southern
sure.
California
That's
basketball.
crazy.
Chick Hearn, legendary basketball
Crazy.
broadcaster. Yeah, so I would sit next to them, and then I would work my way into doing some games on Channel 9 in LA.
Right.
And can I tell a funny story?
Sure, of course.
Well, I think it's funny.
Yeah, we'll decide.
Okay. Well, it's funny to me, but
Okay.
so post game show. So Chick Hearn, he was just amazing to me because he's the quickest study I've ever encountered in my life. So he didn't know much about UNLV basketball and their opponent, and he had this routine. So he'd fly in from Southern Cal. He'd leave. He'd get in here, arrive around, say, 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
Right.
Limo would pick him up. He'd go downtown to the Four Queens for dinner.
Oh, nice.
Okay. And then they'd
What's
take
that
him.
restaurant?
Hugo's, is it?
That's it, Hugo's.
Yeah, the
That's
basement, the cellar, right?
That's right. You
So
get a
we'd go to-
rose if you're a woman.
That's right. To this
You've
day,
never had
still,
a rose. Yeah.
still.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So Chick, had this routine, come out, and then he'd sit down with the sports information directors. Who's this guy? Tell me something about him. Yeah, okay. Take notes. Yeah, real fast, just quick. Everything was quick. So the Lakers had a road game coming up the next day after this one particular game. And so what's going to happen here. Chick is like, I've got to catch a flight.
Right.
So the Rebel game went late.
Yeah.
And Chick said, I'm out of here. They said, the game's over. That's it. We'll be back with the post-game show after this. And all of a sudden, I see Chick walking away. And I'm just like, come back, Chick.
Chick?
Like, yeah, right. He's like, gotta go. And he just bolts.
Right.
And we still have a post-game show to do.
Boom.
On
That'd be
KCAL
you.
9. On KCAL 9.
Okay.
So I'm doing the radio. And it's the funniest thing because I wasn't wearing a sports coat that night. I had a shirt and tie on, but I didn't bring a sports coat.
Nice.
Dick Manoogian is the producer of the UNLV broadcast.
Right.
And Manoogian at the time weighed twice as much as me, and I was really slender too. So he's, you got to go. Like, go, what? What are we going to do? Like, literally, like this is during a commercial break.
Right.
It's like, okay, you have to go on the air. Okay. And he pushes me like towards a seat. Sit down. He takes his coat off.
Right.
Sports coat.
Yep.
I could wrap it around me twice. And then Dick says, I go, well, what do you want me to do? He goes, just listen, to the truck. Just listen to the truck. So I'm like, okay, all right,
Meaning
you're going
there's
on
a
at
director
10.
in your ear
Yeah,
talking
of
to you.
course, yeah, the director in my ear. You're on at 10 and 9. I'm just like looking. I'm a deer in the headlights. He goes, okay, when we come back, we've got some highlights. Yeah, right. All of a sudden, come back. Welcome back to the post-game show. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, here's some highlights here. Oh, it was just so spontaneous
Right.
because it was live. But I'm like,
How'd it go?
they said it went well.
There
I
you
thought
go.
I felt very good about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Sometimes
much.
it helps not to prepare.
Yeah. I didn't prepare for this show.
But
It
be
didn't
careful
help.
with
It didn't
that,
help.
okay?
It didn't help.
Let's not get carried away with that if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, but that was crazy though, because that's how spontaneous it was. And, but it was just a different, it was just a different time, and everything was
So could someone
just
like
renegade and fun,
could the Tark take this team today? I know he's dead, but if he wasn't dead, could he coach this team to be as good as the teams he had?
No, because it took a certain type of athlete that he had to recruit. I'm sure he could be competitive.
So part of the coach's responsibility is recruiting,
Absolutely.
and picking the right recruits who
Yeah.
who will fit within the mold or fit within the plan of that team, basically.
Yeah, and Tark had a player, Stacey Ogman, who went on to play in the NBA, and now he's coaching, I think, overseas. He was a former UNLV basketball assistant. And so Coach Tarkanian had some good players. So Stacey Ogman was from L.A., Pasadena, actually, and the assistant coaches were like, Coach, we want you to come in and close the deal. We really like this kid. We really like this kid.
Right.
Coach goes down there, packed gym. Everyone idolizes Coach Tark. Wow, Tark's in the gym. This is
Tark's in the
social.
gym?
This is pre-social
Right,
media,
right.
and there's just craziness and pandemonium, and people show up because Tark is there, whatever. And it's like Tark's. I don't like this kid. I don't
Oh,
like
wow.
him. And the coaches
Not a
actually
fit.
battled him
Oh, wow.
for that last scholarship. And Stacey Ogman went on to become an All-American. He played 4 years at UNLV. He was on the national championship team. He played in the NBA.
Yeah.
And Tark just was like, I don't really like this guy. But he had a good assistant coaching staff, and they actually helped him to guide him along as far as they got in some. Oh man, they used to get in the craziest arguments, just yelling. I walked into the coach's office, and they would be yelling at each other and screaming.
Right.
But then they would all get along, and they love each other. It's crazy though, because that's what made it magical, I guess.
Right. So for today, though, if I want to watch college basketball, am I going to be really unhappy going to a game right now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you went last season, yeah, you would be, because the team wasn't good. They weren't exciting. They were competitive at times. They had a string where they lost 17 games by 17 points, 4 games in a row.
Jeez.
By exactly 17 points. Like, you couldn't even
And that's a
fix
lot.
games like that.
Yeah.
So they were up and down, and just the style of play, and a lot of the fans were unhappy, and fans were protesting and wouldn't come out. You
Right.
know, we don't like this coach. So fans in our city tend to stay away.
Yeah. What's it cost to go to a game?
Oh, it's still not very inexpensive. And for upstairs, you can still get like $5, $10 tickets.
Oh, no kidding.
Specials,
Wow.
that they have. You can get student tickets, I think, are $5.
What if I want to
And I
actually
think-
see the players?
And I think, you could sit downstairs in the
bowl.
lower bowl. Yeah, that seats about 10,000 of the 18,000 fans. And the ticket prices actually went up this season with a new coach.
Good idea.
So a lot of those seats are scholarship seats, though. So
okay.
2,000 plus. I know a lot of people that are
So here's the
spending.
good news.
But it used to cost a lot more though back in
Yeah.
the day.
Here's the good news. You've just become the, whatever they call it, sports director, or whatever they call those people in college. GM, I want to call it.
Athletic director.
There you go. That's what I meant. You're the athletic director of UNLV basketball, or all of UNLV, I guess. What are you going to do to make it better?
Well, first of all, the basketball coach has to do more than coach. So the basketball coach has to be on campus. The students have to know who he is.
Right.
A lot of folks didn't know who Marvin Menzies was. TJ Otzelberger needs to get out in the community.
Is he going to do
He
that?
needs to work it. He needs to shake hands, kiss babies.
Babies, right.
He needs to go to the Kiwanis Club.
Yep.
He needs to go out and just work it
Yeah.
from there. He needs to go to a Golden Knights game and ring the siren,
right.
or would it crank the siren?
Has he? Have you talked to him?
I have not. No, he needs to go to the Aviators game and throw out the first pitch.
Yeah.
He needs to get out there. He needs to go to fundraisers.
And he's not done any of that so far.
So far, what he's done is because he came in a little bit late, and there's a short window for recruiting, right?
Yeah.
That's called an open period to
Okay.
recruit.
All right.
So most of his focus has been on recruiting.
Right.
However, some of the folks at UNLV have told me that they have a long list of things for him to do.
Okay. All right. So UNLV basketball, we're hopeful.
We're hopeful.
Okay.
UNLV football's also there. They're on the radar.
Are they? I thought they were a complete nightmare.
Well, they haven't won. They've gone to one bowl game in the last 20 years.
How many games did they win last year?
They were 4-8. Okay.
That's pretty crappy.
It's really bad.
How about the year before that? Worse.
Okay, they won 5 games
Oh,
the
did
year
they?
before.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, I stand corrected.
So, but
Come on, Tony.
no, but
Oh,
here's
crap, that's horrible.
here's the silver lining.
That's the Bishop Gordon guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the
happened?
silver lining.
Gorman.
Scott, here's what happened. So for this program to succeed, it's been a lot. You can't recruit kids without facilities and a lot of other things, right?
Oh, facilities.
So they built the Fertitta football complex, which is massive.
Yeah.
It's opening up in the fall, and that's where they're going to have new weight training facilities because they've been sharing the lead building
Yeah.
with like several other sports.
Yeah.
And so you have football players, and
We
for
don't
the
wanna
first
go.
time ever,
They don't wanna go.
what's really important, they have a training table in there
Wow.
where the student athletes could have their diets and they can eat, the right way and
Right.
do things like that.
Right.
Yeah, it's very specialized study. And when you see recruits now, they come on campus, they see this massive building. It's massive.
It helps.
It really does help.
Okay.
It really does help. Plus, in 2020, so this will be the final season of playing at Sam Boyd Stadium. They move into the new Raiders Stadium, the Las Vegas
Right,
Stadium.
right.
So if you're a recruit,
You're loving that.
you're like, okay, we have this brand new facility. I'm going to get all the attention I need, right, to try to make it to the next level. Then we're going to play in an NFL pro stadium. You got to be kidding me.
Another question from the live chat for Tony. Jags wants to know, hey, Tony, with the new stadium being built, do you think UNLV will move to a Power 5 conference?
Yeah, I'm very hopeful that they will. They have to, and That's their direction, and that's what they're trying to do. The athletic director is Desiree Reed-Francois, and she was at UCLA, she was at Virginia Tech, she was at Cincinnati. She's been around Power 5 conferences. They know that they have to do that because, let's face it, the Mountain West Conference is not going to grow the way you want this program, the football program, to grow, the way you want the basketball program to grow. You just can't do it. And again, for TV visibility, they don't have very good, networks. They have AT&T network, no knock,
right?
But we'll get that, and that's like regional.
Right.
They don't get any national exposure. And UNLV, and that's another knock, against the former regime at UNLV. They wouldn't play any of the powerhouse teams. They played Duke here. They got their butts kicked.
Right.
And then after that, they were like, oh, yeah, let's just play a manageable schedule that we feel we could win.
Right.
But, yeah, they have to be in a Power 5 conference.
Right.
That's where they need to be to make money, to make the TV money.
Right.
And to obviously, that's when you recruit better players, too.
Jag says in the live chat, hopefully Pac-12 at some point. Let's go semi-pro.
Pac-13?
Oh, yeah, 13. Semi-pro, what was once the 51s.
So you're calling them semi-pro?
Well, they're minor league.
Okay. They are minor league, but they're still professional.
You know what? I stand corrected. They are professionals. How much do they make? They don't make shit. They're semi-pro.
Yeah, I can't say
But you're
that.
right. They're minor league. I stand corrected. Minor league. They used to be the 51s, the Alien 51s, very clever. They are now the Aviators. I actually was there this weekend. I want to share a little video with you guys, and as we're watching the video, I'll talk a little bit about what we saw. And Tony, if you see stuff that you want to talk about,
I was just there last night again.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay, here we are. So here's me. Hold on, that's not me.
That's not you.
That's not me. That's me walking into the backside. There's two sides to walk into this place, and look at this. They have a pool. Hey,
How
there's
cool is
Melissa.
that, right?
Now, the pool, we were like, hey, can anybody go swimming? No. You have to rent out the entire pool
You have to rent
as
it
a
out,
party. Yeah, that's kind of a drag. But yeah, what do you expect? But pretty cool to have a pool over at the left center. Hey, that's Melissa. And they have a very nice little bar, big bar, hanging out there called
the Hangar.
Hangar.
Yeah.
Clever. A couple of specialty drinks. Now, the one thing that was great about Cashman Field, which I always really liked, I never understood why people didn't like it. I guess the teams didn't like it, was that the drinks there were super cheap. And the tickets there, the most expensive ticket at Cashman Field, $14. That's not the case here. So we go up this ramp from where the bar is, and you can see as we go up this ramp. And by the way, the reason why they're a little quick run is because I sped this video up just a hair. I didn't think you needed to see a 13-minute walking tour. But if you look, there's a grassy knoll, and it's a much nicer grassy knoll than the ones over in the Dallas. But I think, I'm not sure if you can rent the grassy knoll, but there's a whole shitload of people hanging out there. Beautiful view down the right field line. How about that, huh? Nice view of the deal. And what you're going to see here, by the way, you can start to see that the whole vibe of the stadium is very different than the Cashman Field. It doesn't have a minor league feel to it at all. Now we've got ping pong tables and we've got foosball, which I think is kind of cool. And by the way, this area here, we're going to come back later at night, constantly crowded. They're clearly designing this place to be just a place to hang out, where I would argue 20% of the people in that place didn't watch the game at all. They were just chilling and digging it, and this is kind of fun and groovy. Lots of places to eat, lots of bars. They have the regular hot dogs, hamburger stuff, but they had special fancy hot dogs and special happy barbecue-y stuff, and on their pretzels were in the shape of the letter A. As you can see here, huge video sign out there. I would argue that the graphics that they use for the balls and strikes could be a little bit better. It had kind of a ransom notey vibe to it. Hard to read it sometimes. But as you can see, they have done a really nice job of putting this thing together. And they put it together fast. Mm-hmm. I was shocked how quickly these guys actually went from, shovel in the ground to, welcome your Aviators. It was very, very impressive. Here we're walking more on the main level, and there really is only a single main level. I'll show you some other options, but mainly this is it. We're basically coming across behind home plate here. They have a huge bar behind home plate, and that's what you're looking at there. And by the way, there are bars, I don't know, you can't swing a cat and not hit a bar there. So apparently there's some drinking there. This is the main entrance, basically behind home plate. You're going to get wanded here. You're going to go through a metal detector. That was a big delay for us getting in there. They actually didn't let it. We got there about 6, and they wouldn't let people in until it was about 6:30 or so. But they were not letting us into the back entrance. It wasn't the front entrance, so I couldn't quite figure that out. They also have a place, of course, where if you are the kind of person who needs some logo wear, well, we can get you some logo wear. And there it is right there. Plenty of stuff to buy. By the way, these guys are the AAA team for the Oakland A's. Mm-hmm. So that's why you saw a little Oakland A stuff there. The line to buy new swag was out the door, basically. So we bought hey, look at that. There's Melissa. We didn't buy anything, but we'll probably end up supporting the team and getting a hat or a shirt or something along those lines. But I have no patience for long lines like that, so I was no bueno when it comes to that. But as we went out of there, we continue on. Really cool way they've set up the outfield. And I've never seen this before. First of all, they got some nice little chairs and I don't know, a desky kind of thing. I don't think these are reservable. They had the same kind of things over behind the plate, and those were ticketed seats, which, by the way, we went and I think we spent $65 a ticket for those. We were behind the
$65
a ticket. Yeah, I'm not super happy with that. And then here, this is really weird. So this is where we're outfield. You can see that their branding for advertisers is significantly different. But look at this. This is crazy. This is the outfield seating. Boom. That's it. 2 rows, and that's it. It's way different than what you would normally expect in a baseball field. I don't know if it's good, bad, or indifferent. I just thought, it's kind of
interesting,
kind of weird. Yeah. Here's the first pitch.
It says it right there.
Yeah. You saw somebody for the other team throwing 99-mile-an-hour fastballs.
Jeez.
Can you believe that? That's insane. And then we also decided to take a look at night. So this is the outfield looking back towards the diamond here. It's gorgeous. I don't know. Do you know what this thing cost?
I just saw it too, and I can't remember. Sorry.
And then here's that place I was showing it. It's kind of just a hangout. And now it's at night. People are chilling out, looking at their phones.
Does that look like it's worth $150 million? Could that be it?
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's 150.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And you can see you got a really cool. If I fast forward this just a little bit, a nice line of sight right down the right field line. I mean, it's pretty slick, and I hope this couple here doesn't mind that I basically snuggled up against them. But they did a nice job. So Aviators,
very cool.
Very cool. What's your take on what's going on there?
So I went last night again, and I think that it's one of the most beautiful minor league parks. It's not a minor league park. It's basically a major league ballpark.
It's like a mini one.
It's just awesome.
It's beautiful.
It's a great feel in there.
It's very, very nice.
So this homestand, they've sold out every game.
So I'm gonna argue against that. I don't believe that's true, because when we were there, I was in row H, and I would say half that row was empty. Now that could have been season ticket holders who didn't show up.
Absolutely,
and that's what it probably is.
A lot of corporations have blocks, blocks of tickets. So yeah, I think there was about 9,600 last night.
Really?
Yeah, on a school night, on a Monday night.
And to give some context there, when we used to go watch the 51s, 5,000. That was the normal number.
On a Monday night?
Oh, no. I mean,
2,500 on a Monday night.
I mean, on a weekend.
Yeah.
On a weekend night, you're hanging out. You'd be, 4,500. If it's fireworks night, a little higher.
Yeah.
If it's Thursday and it was $1 beer, it was a shit show. And there was like 5,000 or 6,000 people for $1 beer.
Yeah.
But 9,000.
The craziest thing, so I get out there, and I'm walking in to the press section from outside the stadium, which is the VIP entrance. People are scalping tickets. I never thought I would see the day for AAA baseball scalping tickets.
Huh.
And people were going hard. I mean, they were trying to get tickets, and do you have any extras? And
I had no problem getting a ticket.
It was insane out in front.
It was interesting. So I went So first of all, we didn't do season tickets at all. We didn't do any of that nonsense. I went, I want to go and see this because of this show. I wanted to see it for one thing. And so I went on to Craigslist. That's my first go-to place for this stuff. Mm-hmm. And there was probably probably a dozen people selling tickets. And I always go with the individuals. So I reached out to an individual and I said, I want tickets for Saturday. And he basically came back, and he was a season ticket holder, and said, I've sold Friday, I've sold Saturday. How about Monday? I'm like, I don't need Monday. I need Saturday. But I could tell what his deal was. His deal basically was he bought season tickets, and he's going to sell these things off, which I think is kind of crappy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you?
Yeah. Well, I thought about doing it myself.
Really? How much were season tickets for a whole season?
They couldn't have been too steep, right? Could they?
I don't know.
But I think you would get a lot of your money back now. There's so much hype. Everyone wants to see the stadium.
There is now.
Yeah.
There is now.
It's changed. And you know what else, too?
Yeah.
I noticed it's a different crowd entirely than you had at Cashman Field. It's entirely a different crowd.
Oh, well, so that's a great point. So Cashman Field was in downtown Las Vegas,
right,
basically just north of 95 on the east side. And I really liked that property personally, but it was on the east side. It was right by a bunch of homeless stuff, and so there's a lot of jokes about it may not be the safest place to hang out with the family. This is in the heart of Summerlin, so yeah, it's definitely a different crowd, and that's
a lot more families, right?
Without question,
younger crowd, I think too.
Yep, and again, they're catering to families who don't really want to watch. I mean, they have ping pong tables and foosball tables. That's not because you're a baseball-centric crowd. It's because you just want to hang out. Interesting thing in the live chat, Binky's like, did Scott say $65? We pay that for handicapped Cubs tickets. And I think that's the thing. I think the challenge that they're going to face is that's steep. And the only way this works, in my opinion, is that if they continue to play well. Like right now, they're playing well.
Over their heads, crazy.
Yeah, way. But it's like the Vegas Golden Knights. I didn't think that they would be great. No one knew, and we'll talk about them in a minute, that they would be as good. Shit, it's already 47 minutes in. We got to rush this thing through here. God dang it.
I'm not good on time, am I?
No.
But,
God dang it. So as long as they play well, they'll be fine.
So last night, though, real quick, on the Aviators.
God damn it.
Seth Brown hit the first home run into the pool.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so he had 3 homers last night.
Wow, geez.
He had 3, and he was at bat for his 4th home run, and the ball carried out to the warning track right there in left field in the corner, and the guy made the catch of the warning track.
There's a kid who we saw
3 home runs
Sunday
last night.
Who has the greatest sports name ever, baseball name.
Oh,
jeez.
Is
he on our team?
He's on the Aviators.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do, because I tweeted it out, but I forgot about it. He didn't play last night, so I forgot all about it.
He did pretty well on Saturday.
Yeah.
All right, so great. We got to rush through here, but it was a great stadium. I think the pricing is probably a little aggressive. They're basically doing Summerlin pricing. As long as the team keeps winning, I think they'll be fine. But I think what's going to happen is the people who bought the season tickets who are trying to sell them like they're doing, I don't know what they paid, but I think that could be problematic moving forward. All right, let's go pro, and let's go this quickly. First, we have soccer. Who do we got for soccer?
USL, and we've got a team that is currently playing at Cashman Field, and that's the Las Vegas Lights, and they play in the United Soccer League, and they just won 5-0 on Saturday night.
Yay.
Yeah, so it was a pretty big game for them. Eric Winalda is the coach. Winalda came from, he played on the USA soccer team. He's got great credentials, a super guy too.
Yeah,
and
you talked to him?
Yeah, I talked to him. I had him on my radio show, and I had him on my radio show the weekend, a couple of days earlier. His house burned down to the ground in Southern California, in L.A. in the fire.
Oh, yeah.
And he was basically homeless, his entire family.
Right.
But yeah, so he did TV for Fox Sports, and he's got a great background, and they're able to win. They've won a couple of games at home. They can't win on the road right now. They finally got out of a scoring drought, and they're finally scoring some goals. But I'll tell you what, they've done an excellent job in marketing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So they've gone out. You see their advertisements on at the Vegas Golden Knight games.
Yeah.
And they're running around.
They've done cross promotions with different franchises,
Yeah.
and
They seem to be pretty aggressive in that world.
Yeah.
And I think that's helping them. I mean, I understand. I haven't been to a game yet. I hear they're pretty fun though.
they're so much fun.
Yeah. Why?
Okay, I'll tell you why. Because you have people. Okay, what it used to be the first base side when the former 51s played there. On that side, you can come into you could come into the stadium. They want you to bring smoke bombs, drums,
Smoke bombs.
flags. It is unbelievable. It is, but that's on the first baseline.
Okay,
If you're going to take,
smoke
if you're
bombs?
going to take the kids, oh yeah,
Okay, that seems.
they
very,
score a goal and people are
East
just
side.
going ballistic.
Okay.
And then on the third base side, you could bring the family and hang out there. You know where I hung out?
Raiders like.
Yeah, no,
That's fantastic.
I hung out in the black hole, the
What-
equivalent
what's
of the
that?
black hole.
Oh,
That's
the
what
Raiders
the
thing.
Raiders
All right,
yeah,
okay.
fan base.
So, do you remember what it costs to go to a game?
Oh yeah, it's very inexpensive. You could probably go for $10 or $15.
Awesome. And how many games do they play a year?
They play a big schedule. Was it 32 teams? It actually starts.
When does it end?
It actually started already
Okay.
in March, and it goes up until September. And it was crazy because last year it was the first season that they were here.
Jeez, soccer
And
in July. That should
and
be fun.
Brett Lashbrook is the owner of the team, and P.T. Barnum's got nothing on him.
Yeah.
Because he does some crazy stunts, and he's really a fun guy,
As they
super
should.
guy. Yeah, but they had to
It's a minor
share
league baseball
They had
vibe.
they had to share the field with a AAA baseball team in the past.
Right.
So what they had to do was they had to change the sod. They had to roll in and bring in.
right,
it cost them so much money.
Yeah, I get that.
But now they have that stadium to their own, and it's a lot of fun.
Cool.
But they'll get 10,000 fans.
Oh, will they?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
kidding.
Their opener here had 9,000. They're going to average. We've had really bad weather for their games, but they could average literally. They can average 7,000-8,000 a game.
Really? No kidding.
Yeah.
All right.
And they go after the Latino market really strong.
Yeah.
They know their demographics and they just nail it. They do. They
Good
nail
for them.
it. Yeah.
WNBA.
Oh man, I really like the Las Vegas Aces. They play at Mandalay Bay Event Center, and they're just fun. So I went to my first live WNBA game last summer, and I got a press credential after I went to my first game because I have to cover this.
Yeah.
The accessibility, right? You always want to be able to talk to the athletes.
Yep.
The players are available right before the game at courtside. So if you want to do an interview, if you want to do a live shot on TV,
Before the game.
right before the game. So we would do like Facebook Live hits, and
Yeah.
it's so much fun. And the one thing, so Asia Wilson was the WNBA Rookie of the Year last year, and I had her on my radio show last Saturday, and I just told her, what really hooked me was just the fact that they play so hard. It's entertaining. MGM Resorts is behind it. Their halftime shows. Mystere.
At the WNBA ones.
Yes.
As well. That's the same as Vegas Golden Knights.
I mean, yes, it's big time
wow.
entertainment.
Okay.
Big time entertainment at halftime. And it's just a great atmosphere.
How many people can be seated there?
I think around 12,000.
How many
and-
people are showing up?
It was a slow process. I think
gotta be a hard
it
sell
kind
at
of
the
it
beginning.
was a hard sell at the beginning.
Yeah.
It started to pick up towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
They made a run towards the playoffs. They didn't quite get there, but there were games where they had 8 to 10, probably 1,000, but they were probably averaging around 4 to 5.
Okay.
To be honest, but I mean, and they got the number 1 draft pick again. 3 consecutive years. This is rigged.
Huh.
This is so. Jackie Young from Notre Dame. This has to be rigged. This has to be rigged. You have Kelsey Plum, who came from the University of Washington 2 years ago, and then you had Asia Wilson over there. Okay, Asia
I'm just
Wilson.
saying, it's rigged.
It's rigged.
You can look over here, but
I'm looking wherever. And then Asia Wilson, last year Rookie of the Year, and now we have Jackie Young from Notre Dame, who just comes off of the Final Four appearance, and they're a guard heavy team. And they're good. Bill Lambeer's the head coach,
oh, is that right?
the former bad boy.
Right.
Absolutely. He's
Rumor
great.
has it the reason why it's owned by MGM.
It's owned by MGM.
The reason they bought it is because they want to bring a full-time NBA team here.
Absolutely.
That's the plan.
And that was their ticket in.
We would like to be your friend.
Yes,
We'll
exactly.
take your
That's the
WNBA,
peace
and
offering. We'll take, because the team was struggling really bad and San Antonio was broke. And so they said, we'll buy the team, we'll move it to Vegas, and the WNBA All-Star Game is here this summer.
Okay.
And tickets just went on sale. They went on sale today. So that'll be in July. It's going to be packed there. I mean, they fill arenas for the WNBA All-Star Game. Last year was in Minnesota. It sold out. They had to have probably 18,000 fans there.
Okay, so a little team that you may have heard of, Raiders, real quick.
So excited. I'm so excited.
You're a big fan of the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm not a Raiders fan per se, but I went out to the stadium a few weeks ago, and it's just spectacular. And they're starting to put these overhangs up. It's not on that photo, but on the west side of the stadium right now, they put they're overhangs essentially. And this is a big milestone for the stadium because they're going to put them up around the stadium, and then the roof goes on next.
Right.
The roof will go on the stadium, and because it gets so hot here during the summer, they're going to be able to work. All the construction workers could do all the infrastructure, everything else they have to do
that's super
under the roof. Under the roof.
All right.
So they really planned this out well. They're on schedule. Oh, wait a second. They're about 3 days off, I think they were.
Yeah.
They'll make it up.
So I have spent a lot of time talking about this stadium. We're not going to do that today because we haven't got time. I'm not going to talk about the financing, which I think is bullshit. But I do want you to tell me what you think about the chances of that team doing well in Las Vegas. And how do you think, where do you think the majority of people who will go to those games come from?
Yeah, it's a great question. Huge fan base in Southern California.
Yep.
So, of course, the Raiders played in L.A. They played in Oakland.
Yep.
We're going to get people that commute in on the day of the games.
Yep.
The folks that sell tickets for the Raiders have been telling me that they're exceeding expectations for locals. So locals are buying tickets at a much higher pace. Initially, I think the numbers they threw out were 25% would be locals.
Really?
Yeah. And I think it's going to be much higher. I think it'll be much higher.
That seems low.
If for no other reason, we're really shifty here, and we're gonna buy the tickets and sell them.
But doesn't that seem low, 25%?
It seemed very low, and I was like, no, you don't understand Vegas. These fans
so
are
weird.
crazy here.
Okay. I know we're giving this short shift, but we got to talk really quickly about, of course, your Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, they look pretty good.
What about this team?
What about this team? Well, I went to the first game at the trading deadline. They picked up Mark Stone. And Mark
This guy
Stone
can play.
has been...
Holy shit.
So I went to the first game against St. Louis.
Wow.
And I had gone there to a couple of games earlier in the season. And I'm telling you, they just didn't have it this year. Everyone kind of caught up to them.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Well, they
think
recognized what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing.
It wasn't a surprise anymore.
Absolutely. They caught no one by surprise.
Right, exactly.
They didn't have the same magic.
They were
where
getting the shit beat out of them in the beginning.
Yeah, every single move that they made a season ago when they made it to the Stanley Cup final was the right move.
Yeah.
And then this year, at the start of the season, they weren't clicking. I don't know what was going on. So at the trading deadline, they saw a need, for somebody who was experienced, a playmaker, can score, has that leadership role, and Mark Stone just fits the bill.
Crazy.
And I'll tell you, it was so different on just the first night. Like with his presence on the ice, he was taking two guys with him all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's a change in this team,
Yeah.
like nobody's business. And he didn't even know they had to push him to one on faceoffs. He didn't know where to line up. He didn't even know like the plays and everything else.
Right.
But once,
By the way, there are
he
plays
fit
in hockey.
Yeah, there are plays in hockey.
Who knew?
True. And yeah,
I
but
didn't
once
know.
he fit in, now he comes off of the hat trick,
Yeah,
in Game 3 and headed into Game 4 tonight.
They are favored to win now. The whole thing.
Because Tampa was favored and they just got knocked out. They had the best record in the league, and Tampa was favored to win. And so Tampa. So at the last odds I saw a couple of days ago, Washington 5-1, Golden Knights 6-1. It'd be nice to see a rematch again.
I saw a really cool graph. It was a circular graph, concentric circle graph, that showed all 16 teams.
Uh-huh.
And then the chances of, and each outer circle was who would win that thing, and it got closer and closer. And they have Vegas winning the whole way through.
Yeah.
It was like sports puck, or I don't know what it was, but it was the coolest graph I've ever seen. And I was shocked because all season they have not been very good.
No,
But
they had a good run
had
as soon as they picked Stone up,
who
but
was
they
that guy?
won. They won
Max
9 out of
something
10.
other is-
So they had Max Pacioretty,
that
who they
guy's a
picked up.
player too.
So you have
And
that line.
Reeves is just an assassin.
He's the best.
He's an assassin.
He's one of the nicest guys. You know, I did a story on him for Vegas Magazine a few weeks ago, and we did the photo shoot at his house.
Yeah.
And he's just a super fun-loving guy who will just beat your
Beat
butt
you to
in.
death.
Yeah, he'll bludgeon you.
I'll bludgeon you.
He just said,
And
"I don't
he's
like to
selling
lose
beer now.
Yeah, he's selling beer. That's what it is. No, he's pretty serious about selling beer.
Okay, so we're a little over time, but we're going to keep going here.
Okay.
Just round it all out for me. Give me your 50,000-foot view of the sports world in Las Vegas.
Well, the next move is going to be the NBA.
Okay.
And I am just told on a constant basis that they're close. It could be within the next couple of years.
Yeah.
It could be that soon.
Are they going to take another team or create a new team?
Well, that's the thing. Do they want to take another team? The Key Arena up in Seattle, it would only make sense if they had expansion teams in Vegas and in Seattle. But, of course, Vegas likes to cheat. And we'd like to have a team that's already, we might have to go steal the Warriors now from Oakland, too.
Oh, wouldn't that be
Well,
good?
from San Francisco.
That'd be a good team.
Yeah.
I
They'll be
hear
in San
they're-
Francisco
I hear they're
next
going to be
year.
all right.
Yeah, they'll be okay.
Probably
But I think, so NBA is next. But, hey, look at us. I mean, 2020, we have the NFL draft. The NFL draft will be here in a year.
Oh, that's going to be neat.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome,
And
right?
you think eventually the Super Bowl will be here, right?
2025 is what they're projecting. That's what they're pitching. And that would be
That
just
will
massive.
be crazy.
It will be the first
Crazy.
$1 billion event in the city of Las Vegas.
It'd be crazy.
The first $1 billion event.
People don't realize that we do more money during Super Bowl than any other Super Bowl city.
It's already sold out.
Nobody knows that.
Right.
They're like, oh, yeah, Super Bowl's in Atlanta. That's huge. I'm like, we're like, we call that a Tuesday.
Right.
We do this all the time.
Yeah.
People come here for the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's
the
gonna
Super Bowl
be-
here is going to be fucking crazy.
Should we start, I guess,
Crazy.
we have to start projecting and start getting hotel rooms for 25. Because we're shysters
We're
here.
going to call the MGM. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like to get a 20,
A block.
25. Can I get a block of...
Could I rent out the wing?
Yeah, I saw your show. No. All right. All right. Tony, thank you so much for your insight, brother.
Thank you, man.
Again,
That was
check
great.
him out. He's on the CBS radio. He's writing articles for basically anybody who's important. And we do have to say real quick. I don't want to forget this. The Dasco effect.
Yeah. When are we starting it?
You're bringing. The allegedly you got the contract, which means nothing.
It means no.
It literally means
It's
nothing.
sometime in May, right?
Yeah, the first or second
week.
Tuesday. of
Second
May,
Tuesday in May.
5:00.
Yeah, we'll be. You'll be promoting it on here.
I like
right?
it. I like the show. I'm happy and proud to bring it to the Vegas Video Network. We're gonna
It's so much fun, isn't it?
We're going to do good work.
We're going to expand it.
We're
Yeah.
gonna kick its ass.
We have a personal injury attorney, Eric Marshall,
Yep.
who's going to now be on the show with myself and Andy Gill.
Fantastic.
Andy Gill was on your show.
And he was on my show.
Did he talk as much as me?
No.
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 Yeah.
No.
No.
Hard to say. Thank you, bud.
Thank you, bud.
Let's have a drink.
Thank you, Course.
All right, it's time for Have a Drink on Me. It's part of the show where I show you a picture of a bar or a speakeasy or a lounge, but never a club because I'm too old to go to those, and then you guess it. And by the way, we're running a little bit late. Why? Because Tony talked a lot. Damn it, Tony. But hey, let's say that you want to submit a guest to our Have a Drink on Me thing. How do you do that? Well, you send an email to haveadrink@vegasvideonetwork.com. Again, haveadrink@vegasvideonetwork.com. And you're like, all right, Scott, I need to know some of the rules. How does stuff work? Well, you know what? I'm going to have Pops tell you how it works.
Hey kids, Pops here, 5-time pattern winner. I know what you're thinking. Pops, you old fuck. Yeah, I'm one old guy keep winning contests over and over and over.
8-time winner.
Did you know there's bonus entries available? And if you send in your initial qualifying entry email with the correct pattern answer to at VegasVideoNetwork.com, you can get bonus entries for being in the live chat during the drawing.
That's one.
Or by sending in a video for the
That's two.
contest. Or by doing a video intro for the show.
That's three.
Or being quick on the draw and being the first person with a qualifying entry email in to have a drink at VegasVideoNetwork.com. And don't worry, if you're quick on the draw but you jump the shark, if you're wrong when you send in your first answer, you can send in a corrected email. It'll still get entered as long as it comes in time, and we'll just tease you over being wrong the first time. If you win, you're not qualified to win a following week. No back-to-back wins.
No
But
greedy
it is
bastards.
polite to pop in and say, thank you very much to Scott Whitney and the cast and crew of the Living in Las Vegas podcast on the Vegas Video Network.
Thank you, Pops. Now, I know Tony's sitting here going, yeah, but what do you win? Fair question. There's a couple of things that you might want to win. First of all, it's called Have a Drink on Me, Tony. That means that if you're in town, whether you're a local or a tourist, I'll buy you a drink. We tend to go to Golden Tiki.
Oh,
Here's
nice.
where we're not going. We're not going to anywhere at the Venetian where it's $18 a fucking drink. So a drink, that's what most people will like. Oh, but wait, there's more. Let's say that you're musically inclined. Well, of course you are. Well, then guess what? You can pick one of my CDs. You can pick one of the Chris McCoustic or Chris McCoustic 2 CDs. Whoops, there it is. That's God, what the, hold on. It's like a card trick. Chris McCoustic or Chris McCoustic 2, perfect for the holiday season. Or if you're an acoustic Latin jazzy guy, you might want to check out Good Jazzathon. Yes, Scott, but I want more. Well, why wouldn't you? I'm a sartorial guy. What does that mean? I want you to look good. You might want to get yourself a Vegas Video Network visor. It's black like my heart or red like other people's heart. Now, here's the great thing about this baby right here. Let's say you win. And I'm super proud of you for doing that. You take the hat, you take a picture, and you send me that photo. I take that photo and I look at it and I rub it and I put it in an area, in a group. What's that area called? Well, fair enough. You asked the right questions, Tony. But quietly, and I like that about you, if you have a picture and you send it in, you become a part of the galaxy of God. There is Gregor, and then there's Bill, Mr. Testy, and Steve, and Michael, and Robert, and Rosie, and Scott, and Michael, and Binky, and Bub, and Alan, and then his wife Erin, who are nudists, and Bob's wife, and Danny, and Shan, not Chen, and Craig, and Glenn, Jimmy, Juice, Rob, who's over in Hawaii, and of course, we are in Hawaii. There's Stuart and Christina, whose all babies are because of my music, and Don and Jackie and Mike. Look out, Mike! Easy, oh my gosh, you'll be okay. Pop's 8-time winner, and Sammy and Carol and a dog, and Chris, who's all babies. Oh no, he's in my pool because he drank so much. And there's Brett's dad and me and Wayne, and don't forget our good buddy Brett as well. Okay. Oops, there's Brett. Hold on. There it is. All right. I wanted an applaud, not that. Okay, here we go. Run them on. All right, here's last week's Have a Drink on Me. Stand by. Wait, there it is. And the hints were Oak and Ivory on Fremont Street. Oak and Ivy on Fremont Street. Oak and Ivy on Fremont Street. Very well done. We had 18 of 19 correct answers. Let's take a look at them. You ready? Now, this is the part where you're going to play along.
Okay.
Get ready with your pen. Get ready with your Post-it notes. Here we go. Okay, our first correct answer. You're not going to believe this. Our first answer was not from Aussie Deb, who's from Australia, who's watching right now live in Australia. She's been the first person for the last, I'm going to go a year.
Because you can't buy her a drink.
Well, no, here's what I bought her a drink and she's bought me a drink.
Okay.
But she's 12 hours ahead. That's why she is always ahead of us, because she knows stuff. Okay. But the first answer we received was not from Aussie Deb. But the problem was the first correct answer was from Aussie Deb. Oh, Gregor had the first answer, but it was wrong. So Aussie Deb, again, number one. Aussie Deb, one for the correct answer. You're going to write Aussie Deb, like an Australia Deb. Or just Deb.
Okay, we got you.
On the top half, Aussie
Yeah.
Deb.
I got you.
No rush.
It's Aussie. It's Aussie, Dad.
Aussie.
O-Z-Z.
Just no, it's A-U-S-S-I-E. Fuck. It's fine and good health. Rough. So fold it in half.
Like that.
Yeah. And then do one more because she's also in the live chat.
Okay.
So already she's got 3 in there. You see what's happening here? See how magical this is?
This is magical.
Pretty cool, right?
Aussie Deb.
Aussie Deb. Yep. And then we've got Gregor, who did 15 different entries before he got one right, but he was actually number 2. All right. Next up, we've got Binky. 1 for the correct answer, 1 for being in the live chat. Binky, Binkie. And then we've got Samuel Jackson, the Samuel Jackson. 1 for the correct answer, 1 for being in the live chat. And then we got James Wallish, or Jaws MN. 1 for the correct answer, 1 for being in the live chat.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take this one.
Come on, let's go, man.
Man.
You're slowing me down.
What in the world?
Just James Wallace, or Wallish. Or Jaws. Just write Jaws.
Poor penmanship right there.
That's right. That's it.
Yours.
Yeah, no, that's because I'm a doctor. You get that? Let me see your penmanship. Let me see how much better it is.
You can read it.
Yeah. Fair comment. Steve Rhodes from the UK. And we've got Jeff Brunacci, who loves the show.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Mike from the Couve.
Okay.
1 for the correct answer. Mike from the Couve, which is Vancouver. 1 for being in the live chat. Well done.
Gotcha.
Then we've got Black Jack Bolin. There you go. Correct answer. We've got Bill 98036, whose zip code will change shortly. We've got Lou from Montreal, Canada. And he says, merci beaucoup. Boom. And we continue.
There's more?
Andy in New Hampshire. 1 for the correct answer. Andy in New Hampshire. 1 for being in the live chat. Well done, well done, well done. We've got Tom Yu, longtime player. We've got Jimmy 2Gs, off in the live chat, but I don't see him today. Terry Reganingananganunga, South Dakota, which is the better Dakota, just in case you're wondering. Dave Manchester from Great Britain. That's it. FaZe Jitter, 1 for the correct answer. FaZe Jitter, 1 for being in the live chat. FaZe Jitter. It's just like it sounds. And then we have a video entry from Pops. But wait a minute, didn't Pops win last year? Last show? He did. And we know the greedy bastard rule doesn't allow him to play again this episode.
Are you going to show it anyway?
But we're going to show it anyways because he's doing the right thing.
Okay.
Pops?
Hey kids, no entries for Pops this week, no name in the hat. I clinched my 8th win on the last show, and I know there's a no greedy bastards rule, where if you won the last show, you're not allowed to play the next show.
That's right.
I'm always careful to send in a thank you email and a thank you video, just to say, hey, thanks for letting me play. This does raise an interesting question though. Scott, we need a ruling. I donated my prize back, and there was a second drawing. I'm claiming the win as an 8th win. That person got the prize. Are they included in the no greedy bastard rule or not? Your show, your contest, your rules. We do need clarification, though, Judge. Thank you very much. See ya.
Pops, I don't disagree with the question, and I'm here to answer it. Obviously, Pops knows that he can't be in it, but does the person who he gave the win to, should he be allowed? Which in this case was Who's Your Daddy? No! He would be a greedy bastard too, so Who's Your Daddy would be disqualified as well. No, he didn't submit, which he normally does. Maybe he knew that he would have been a greedy bastard had he done that. All right, here we go. Let's see who our winner is. You'll be picking the winner, Tony. See, dreams do come true. Coffee and making dreams come true. Go!
I hope I can read it. I hope it's one of mine.
Right, that was mean and uncalled for.
Not called for.
Mean-spirited.
Okay.
What do you got?
It is my handwriting.
Well, that's fantastic. Who is it?
Do I know who it is?
Well, yeah, I would.
He's from New Hampshire.
Wow.
He's Andy.
Andy! Andy's a good man. He's won a few times before. Way to go, Andy, who's in the live chat. So he doubled his pleasure. He doubled his fun. Let's look at this week's Have a Drink on Me. Oh, my God, we're 10 minutes over. It's like,
It's my fault.
It is your fault. My God. Who knew people could talk about UNLV, for fuck's sake? Here we go. Here it is. Here's this week's Have a Drink on Me. Hint number 1. Iowa farmer Ray wanted to have one of these with his dead dad. Iowa farmer Ray wanted to have one of these with his dead dad. Hit number 2. If you are a highly sought-after person in the dating market, you'd be called this. If you are a highly sought-after person in the dating market, you'd be called this.
Is it cougars?
You don't talk out loud during this. God damn it. Hit number 3, and our final hint before I have to commit murder. Hit number 3. Fishermen in Alaska's Bering Sea have a deadly version of this. Fishermen in Alaska's Bering Sea have a deadly version of this. If you know the answer, send it to haveadrink@vegasvideonetwork.com. Again, haveadrink@vegasvideonetwork.com. But this is harder. I didn't give any geographical hints, which I normally do. You just got to figure this one out on your own, you smart people, you. And if you do, then you will go to heaven. I just recorded that, so I wanted to use it. What are you going to do? All right, hey, that's it. Thanks, Tony.
It's been great to be here. It's fun.
You're awesome.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Hey, if you guys want to send us an email, you can do so by sending an email to onairq@livinginlv.com. Again, onairq@livinginlv.com. Let's say you want to send us a voicemail because you want to hear your dulcet tones. And you know what? I want to hear them as well. Just go to our homepage. If you look at the right side, you'll see a little tab. You'll click that tab. A little box will pop up. And you're going to click Start Recording. Why? Because you have a microphone attached to your computer. By the way, we're on all the social medias, the Twitter, the Facebook, and all that nonsense. We're on the iTunes. And if you're watching or listening to us on iTunes, we'd ask you to give us a 5-star review on either one of those. Hey, we're on the YouTube. That's how lots of Sarge found us today on the YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. Share us with your friends. We're also on Roku with over 80,000 installs. We're on Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, Chromecast, Apple, Google Fire TV. We're on Google Play, and of course, the VegasVideoNetwork.com. Thanks again to Tony for playing along. It's good to be with a real broadcaster.
It's nice to be with a real broadcaster.
I've got everybody fooled. All right, that's it. We'll see you guys on the next episode of Living in Las Vegas on the Vegas Video Network. Take care, everybody.
That's awesome.